right, I'll let him explain that to you. He'll be back in just a second.
I don't want to talk to him.
Okay. Well, he's going to be the one issuing it to you.
Do you want to make a movie?
Make a movie?
Yeah, because if you're his supervisor...
I'm not trying to make a movie, and I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just explaining to you what it is. Back up!
Today's video takes us to Edmond, Oklahoma. Now, most breakdowns, we usually define what is lawful and what is not. But we're here to dig a little deeper than that, to invoke thought and to create a conversation. I'm Sean Tyree. Welcome to Vest Life.
Go ahead.
6.4 is valid, 43.
10-4, okay, ma'am, just to let you know. So he is going to issue a citation today, okay? He's going to issue a citation for the solicitor. Well, I'm going to let him explain that to you, okay?
Police already told I can stay here.
They told you today? Okay.
No, it was around Christmas they told me.
Okay. All right. I'll let him explain that to you. He'll be back in just a second.
I don't want to talk to him.
Okay.
So what you have here is a basic panhandling call. This happens across the United States. If you heard her, which we all know, some people lie, right? You get an officer, they say, well, this officer told me that I can do this. And then Officer B told me I said I can do that. You know, that's usually a ploy that people use, but oftentimes, sometimes it's actually true. Officers do tell people, hey, you can do this as long as you don't do that. And what you see here is she was saying that, hey, back in December, this person said that I can do this. And I know what you're saying. And this is the First Amendment right. You're not impeding traffic, as long as you're not stepping out into the roadway, you're not doing anything aggressive. Normally, it's still legal as long as you're not doing those things that I just mentioned, right? Being aggressive with the solicitation, as far as like asking for money. And it doesn't matter what state you go to. Honestly, this is still covered under free speech, quote unquote, right? And the reason why I put it on quotations because here recently in Oklahoma, they recently passed it's a panhandling act for us in a sense. So the reason why she said, hey, in December, this officer A said I can do this, but now this is January and a new law was passed where if you're standing within 18 inches of the roadway, technically it's a fine. And you'll see the video right here.
How close can you be to the roadway if you're standing or sitting on a sidewalk or median? The answer is now 18 inches, no closer than that. And close also describes how the council voted and the public debate on the issue.
And it only takes a second of distraction for something bad to happen.
This ordinance is not going to be helpful to a lot of people that are just trying to survive.
Speakers had a virtual ping pong match, hitting the ball back and forth between opposing and supporting the ordinance.
Every one of us has seen it. People standing on narrow medians or curbs, inches away from cars that are going 40, 50, even 60 miles an hour. It is not only dangerous for the drivers, it's life-threatening for the individuals themselves.
Unsafe roads are the fault of the city, not the thousands of residents of Tulsa who can't afford a car or need to panhandle to get basic needs met. But instead of investing in improving the safety of our roads and sidewalks, this ordinance instead criminalizes and blames the very people at risk of harm due to decades of divestment and neglect of our communities by City Hall.
The council vote was 5-3, with Councilor Lakin explaining what it does and doesn't do.
This does not affect anybody walking down a sidewalk, running, skateboarding, whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing on a sidewalk unless you decide to stand or sit on that sidewalk. And if you do decide to do that, just do that 18 inches away from the roadway.
So in the video that you just saw, 18 inches from the roadway. So that's their new law. And me, I'm a city boy. So coming from the city, I've seen people panhandling like left and right. So it doesn't bother me as much as long as you're not aggressively coming up to my vehicle or anything like that. But I understand there are situations where, you know, you're afraid that somebody's going to step into a roadway, you're going to end up hitting them. Or, you know, most people, they say it's unsightly. They don't want to see there in their city. It makes the city look unclean. When you see people standing or sitting or camping out near the intersection, it just brings an aesthetic look that a lot of people don't want. Like I said, I grew up in the city, I'm used to it. You know, if you go to a gas station, somebody, yo, man, you got $1, you got some change. Yeah, it's annoying, but you can always say no. But until you come up to me and it's aggressively, then we have an issue. But some people don't want to be bothered. They want to go to this gas station, drive to their location, and they don't want to see stuff like that. I'm not here to debate that. But that's the reason why when you see she was confused, she's like, wait, this person said in December I can do this. Now it's January, you're telling me something different. Now we're just talking about officer safety. So we often get caught up in, you know, how people look. You can take things for granted. And I can clearly tell the officer, I know I've done it before, me looking at a smaller or shorter person in stature because I'm a pretty big guy. I can often take that for granted. Sometimes I need that reset, right? So when I say that, it's because look at the proximity, look at the movements that people are allowed to get away with when you pretty much take them for granted.
Do you want to make a movie?
Make a movie?
Yeah, because if you're...
So telltale sign, do you see somebody like this? Were you, as an officer, would you feel threatened? Say it's reverse, right? You don't see an older female right there and it's a male in her place. Would you allow these type of movements to take place? Would you allow somebody to dig in their pockets? So when you see a lot of officers say, hey, keep your hands out of your pockets, we want to see your hands. Officers need to see your hands. That's a safety risk. So when you see this, I just want you to see like how easy it is to fall in that trap of taking somebody's for granted. When you see them, you're like, oh, well, you know, I mean, I can take them. Yeah, you could. But if they pull out something, a gun or a knife by you taking it for granted, now can you take them? You have already lost that fight. So just looking at this, you can tell the proximity is off and the furtive movements that's going on while listening to what she's saying. You often take that for granted.
Supervisor?
I'm not trying to make a movie and I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just explaining to you what it... Back up! Get on the ground. 694, start me a supervisor, taser deployed. Put your hands behind your back, do it now. Put your hands behind your back. Cover. Cover. Yep. I don't know what she's got in her hand. Do not move. Do you understand me? Do not move. Got so much comments on, I can't get. Hold what you got. That's what she had in her hand.
696 on the start fire. She's looking from the face.
Okay. Roll. Okay. Stay where you're at. What are you trying to do?
I'm injected. If anybody can hear me, they injected me.
Make sure she's got nothing else on her.
If any...
So as you saw, the officer right then and there, one, he did get stabbed. That's just from not really taking the person in front of you serious, right? Like I said, those movements allowing people to dig in their pockets. You just don't know what they have. Luckily, it was a nail file from what you saw. That made me look about, 1 to 2 inches. But say if it was like an actual sharp object, right? Like it was an actual knife, maybe even longer, like 4 to 5 inches. Now, you know, the danger even elevates even more so. But just for taking that situation for granted by seeing who's in front of you, sometimes that's a wake-up call. You need that reset. All right. I've had moments where something sparks and I'm just like, whoa, and it catches you off guard. But this is that reset that you need in order to say, hey, I need more situational awareness. because you just never know. Now, I want to note that this is where that training comes in. You see how the officer evaded that situation? That's one thing that's really trying to be universal as far as knife evades. Instead of backpedaling as if you're some type of DB on a football field, right, or cornerback or anything like that. So you're not going back on your heels, because oftentimes you're not looking backwards. You don't know what's behind you, and then officers end up tripping and falling. And next thing you know, the person you're running away from is going to end up closing the distance, right? And you're on the ground. You're on your back. Terrible situation you want to be at. So now, naturally, the thing to do is to turn, either sprint away or turn or sprint diagonally from the person, right? Where you're still keeping an eye on the person, as you'll see right here, right? Almost in a circular type of situation. So that way it allows not only for you to keep an eye on the person that's chasing you, and also to get away quickly. So that way you don't stumble over your own feet. As you can see where the officer was standing there trying to talk with the person with a knife, and he started approaching them. Then he started attacking them. So what did he do? He started evading. So he started running almost in a circular situation, creating that distance and getting enough space to where he can actually effectively engage the suspect chasing him with the knife. And also, when you see one of my earlier videos right there where the officer, where you see the clip there where the sergeant ended up running, creating distance from a person that was actually trying to stab him with an actual knife, where he did get stabbed in the neck, created distance, turned around, got on target, and ended up shooting the person that was charging at them with a knife. So that's the universal thing that hopefully a lot of agencies are now adapting. Instead of backpedaling, you're actually turning and using your legs, creating more distance, and then turning around and being effectively putting the person down.
They are injected.
She pulled it out. I don't know what she was
They
doing.
injected me.
Just hold what you got, man. We got medical coming. Why were you trying to stab me with a nail file? That's what she had in her hand coming at me. I was like, what in the world?
I am injected with a small particle to take captured.
Okay.
Probably by Islamic Republic.
Not that I can see.
Or American, they are helping them. Do you like sex with me? You're
Nope.
very salty.
Nope. Just be quiet for me, okay?
I afraid you did.
I did not. My camera's been rolling this whole time. She was out, whatever. He was going to write her a ticket for.
Well, so it's considered panhandling now. They can abolish that.
Anyway, I went up and explained to her. I was like, hey, he's going to write you a citation. She goes, I don't want to speak with him.
Can hear me, they have injected
Anyway,
me
I went up
with
to her. And she turned and said something. She pulled out a nail file and just started chasing me with it. So I deployed my taser, ran around the car. We both deployed darts. Either his or mine. Finally, one of them landed and connected, and she fell flat on her face. But
Probably the tax
grab a bag and
the
collect that. That's what she was
people
trying to stab
who
me
have
with.
my custody, they are involved, and it's my life is against their personal benefit.
Okay, well, just hang tight for me,
financial
okay?
or somehow. Please, if anyone can help, can hear me, help me.
Grab me
Any
up there if you
authority
can.
from anywhere around the world who can hear me. If it goes to the news, please, if anyone around the world can hear me,
Do you have
help
anything
me,
on you
because
that's gonna
the people
anything
have my
sharp?
custody.
Do you have anything sharp?
Be careful.
My
Just leave what you got. Let medical do that.
benefits,
I'll make you shit.
and they're doing this to me.
You got her?
I am perfectly healthy.
Hey, grab the
Every day.
rip your shoes off.
Bro, that went out
Thank
fast.
you
Hold on.
for living from living my life.
Yeah, she's okay where she's at right now.
My family life.
Hey, I can see you got gloves.
So the female was taken into custody. She was charged with assault and battery with a deadly weapon and assault and battery on a police officer. So situations like these, it makes you think. You're like, okay, I need a reset. And what I mean by reset is, like I said earlier, right? You have a situation where you approach elderly female. I don't say older female. I don't say elderly, but older female. She's not like really big in stature, probably short compared to this officer. I mean, we're only viewing in front of body cam, but probably shorter in stature than the officer. Definitely not as muscular, right? And you often take that for granted. And like I said before, I know I've taken a situation like that for granted where I'm like, okay, I'm a bigger guy. I see it. And I'm like, yeah, I can take this person if I need to. But you often need that reset because some things catch you off guard, right? I guarantee that if she was a male, all the extra movement that she was doing and that the officer allowed her to do, right? Putting her hand in her pocket without even correcting the, hey, take your hand out of your pocket just so I can see your hands. And the safety risk of keeping that good distance, right? But he did a good job of evading. As you saw there in those clips, that evading, instead of backpedaling and sprinting away, often great. So not only evading, right, using it, making use of the taser. And you saw the taser 10. This is why taser 10 is always great. You saw the layer of her clothing. Often, if this was taser 7, you only have 2 shots technically because it's 4 prongs, 2 shots. Here with the taser 10, you have multiple shots that you can take, right? You have up to 10 chances in order to get somebody down to the ground. And then he had a partner there, so technically 20 chances to get somebody down to the ground, and you saw it was effective. As soon as it hits and you get that good cross-current connection, boom, they're already immediately on the ground, right? And then obviously not rushing it, allowing the 5 seconds to cycle, and then using your partner, hey, keep cover, meaning with the taser, allowing him to end up putting her in the handcuffs. Not only that, calling for aid. We have to have aid on scene, especially sometimes we can remove the prongs, but given also that she's a female, you want to have another female there or even multiple other units there just for not only cover, just to make sure that whatever's seen is not like seen as you're sexually or inappropriately touching the person, and to remove the taser prong from the suspect's person. Now, I want to ask you this. Even though the size of the file, right, and the fact that it was still be considered a deadly weapon because she could have went for the eye or anything like that, would you have used deadly force in that situation? Would deadly force have been justifiable in that situation? Split-second decision. I'll let you make that choice. If you like this content and for more content, you'll see videos here that'll display right here and right there. Go ahead, click, give it a watch, give it a view, like, share, and subscribe. With that being said, if you're law enforcement of old, law enforcement of new, or even the general public, if you learn anything from this video, drop a like in the comment below. And like always, Jesus is the light of the way.